So what you have to understand, what you have to like keep in mind is that language is not a course of 3 months or 4 months or 5 months. It is a journey. It is a lifelong journey. It keep improving all the time. Just we keep improving our language. So what we have to do, what we have to understand most of the time, if language is a lifelong journey, so what should we focus and what should we keep in mind all the time is that we have to be connected with English language if it is not our mother tongue. So it is not our mother tongue. So what's our mother tongue? Hindi. All right. So our mother tongue is Hindi. So what we are doing most of the time, we are surrounded by Hindi in every situation, in every moment. All right. So whether we are talking to our friends, we are talking in Hindi. Whether we are reading newspaper, we are reading in Hindi. Whether we are listening jokes or reading jokes. So how we are, in which language are we listening? Hindi. We are singing songs in Hindi, and like we are watching movies in Hindi. So we are watching all the things. All right, try to understand. We are watching all the things in Hindi. We are listening everything in Hindi, and we are talking to our friends. That is in Hindi, and we are in the process of learning language. Means we are in the journey of learning language. So how will it improve? Okay, try to understand this thing. This is a question that most of the time just we are listening Hindi words, Hindi sentences, Hindi movies, Hindi jokes, Hindi newspaper. People are afraid, everyone around us, those who live around us, we talk to them in Hindi language. Is that okay? Yes. And we are listening Hindi, we are getting Hindi, everything we are getting in Hindi or in our regional language. So how will we improve it? So we have to focus something, we have to try to understand something, and that's the simple thing that we have to be connected in the connection of learning language. What does it mean? We have to be in the connection of learning English language. It is not our language, it's not our first language, it's a second language, it is not in our environment. So in our environment there is no availability of English language, so we have to create our own environment if we really want to learn. Okay? So we really want to improve, we really want to change. Everyone has this desire that, do you have this desire that you want to improve your language? Or do you have this desire? You want to improve, na? सभी के मन में है कि यार मुझे improve करना है. Is that okay? But are we in the connection of English language? Are we listening songs? We are listening songs in Hindi. So like, did we replace it or not now? Not for a long time. I'm not telling that for all the time you have to listen English songs and you know how to like listen Hindi songs. I'm not talking about that. So how many of you read book in English? Any book, they try to understand English books. Alright, only 4 or 5 students are there, right? So next talk about how many of you are listening something or the other every day. That is in English. Whether it is a news or any kind of speech or any kind of thing that you like, that is connected in your interest or that is connected to your field. Are you watching something in English, listening something in English? How many of you are listening? Watching? Very good. Again, 5 to 6 people. Alright. So next talk about that. Do you read newspaper or not? How many of you read? Only 2 people? Wow, that's good. Okay, so you are reading newspaper. So is it Hindi or English? Hindi newspaper or English newspaper? Hindi newspaper. So most of the time what we are doing, what's happening with us? We are listening everything in Hindi. Reading in Hindi. अब सोचो जरा, जो चीज अगर इधर इंग्लिश में नहीं है तो निकलना पॉसिबल है क्या? जो चीज डालेंगे वही बाहर आएगी? सही है कि नहीं? तो अब क्या करना है? सो व्हाट वी हैव टू डू? नाउ ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. लाइक visualize yourself that you are talking in English all the time. Try to understand those things, whether you are doing it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Listening, writing, reading, speaking, alright, watching. Try to do these things. And these, all the things are necessary. So we have to understand that thing. There we have to keep in mind. We come here for 2 hours or sometimes 3 hours. You stay here in this class. And again, when you go from this class, what do? You do all the things that is like happening in our regional language. We are using our mother tongue. Simple. So we have to do something than others people are doing. Yes, please come. So we have to try to understand this thing. Okay, that we have to be in the connection of learning language. We have to listen something or the other. It's a fun if we are in the connection of this thing. So it is not a language, it's a journey. इट इज अ जर्नी. बट वॉट यू माइट बी थिंकिंग, सम ऑफ यू माइट बी थिंकिंग दैट यार 3 मंथ्स का कोर्स है, 4 महीने का कोर्स है, 5 महीने का कोर्स है, उसके बाद मैं इंग्लिश सीख जाऊंगा. क्या सीख जाएंगे ये समझना है. लाइक कि बहुत सारी चीजें सीख जाएंगे, कॉन्सेप्ट सीख जाएंगे, प्रेजेंटेशन सीख जाएंगे, कॉन्फिडेंस इंप्रूव होगा, वोकेब्स इंप्रूव होगी, सारी चीज इंप्रूव होगी. बट अगर हम प्रोसेस में नहीं रहे तो वो चीजें भी, क्योंकि हमारी मदर टंग है ही नहीं, तो फिर क्या होगा, धीरे धीरे डिस्कनेक्ट होते चले जाएंगे. सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट यू हैव टू बी इन द जर्नी, यू हैव टू बी इन द प्रोसेस ऑल द टाइम. इज दैट ओके?